Okay, so this week we're talking about time management, which a lot of students don't like to hear about. Some of us feel that, right, we have it all covered, we know how to figure things out. And then sometimes we're like, oh no, we need help trying to like manage all your stuff. So I'm going to go over some examples of effective time management skills and strategies that some people use. Some of these are actually strategies that I use for when I was taking classes or I use currently, and I think they work really well. So as you're going through this, try and think about at least maybe one strategy that you can use in your life to see if it works, and start with that. So first example is kind of a monthly calendar schedule. So I have what I call I have schedules for work, school, and personal life. So this is a school schedule example that I use for my classes. I color code things in my classes so I can see, what goes with what goes with what class. I put in things, I put due dates for things, and I also put in other assignments and general things I need to know about. So for example, you can see here, my class BSc 595 was purple, so anything purple related I know goes with that class. Anything pink related you can see here goes with graduation, that is associated with graduation. If I have due dates, right, so I can see assignment 3 is due here, assignment 4 is due here. I also have other general things that I need to know about. For example, right, like I need to check for graduation tickets on this day. My comp exams begin here and continue throughout. And I also have just general, like when I need to study for things or work on a paper. So you can see these days here are specifically for working on a paper. This way it's easy to see when things are due, when you need to check certain things, when exams are, and you can put in here, like I need to study for, whatever, chapter 3 on this day. And it's very easy to see, it's very easy to keep on track. Personal calendar, right? So time management is not just for school, it's also for your personal life. So I use a calendar again for personal stuff as well. Again, I keep things color coded so that way I can quickly look and see that, so I know orange are movies and TV, purple are personal things, blue are vacation days, or I'm out with something or someone's visiting. And like I said, I have important things and non-important things, right? Like I have dates and certain shots. But I also have, when people are gonna be here, holidays, but I also have like non-important items that I find important, right? So like for me, when Inside Out 2 was coming out was very important. But it's very easy for me to see, this is how busy my June of 2024 was. It's very easy to see like all the different things that I have going on and to know, like I said, when things are due, right? Payments, and when certain appointments are, or certain things like that. And it works very well. I pretty much live off of my calendars in my personal life and at work. It's very easy to use to keep on track and keep up to date with things. To-do list, another common thing that people use are to-do list. You can keep it as detailed as you want, or you can keep it as broad as you want. So if you need to be specific about like the different steps of something, you can do that. If you need it to be more broad, that's cool too. You can make subcategories. So for example, this is a to-do list that I have. I do to-do lists for daily tasks, so things I need to do for that day. You can do it for daily, you can do it a monthly, you can do it weekly, you can do however you want, experiment, play around. For this particular day, I was very detailed. I tend to find that when I'm super stressed about stuff or super anxious, having a very detailed list of things that need to get done, even if it seems like, well, that should be obvious, for whatever reason, like it helps bring my stress level down. So that's why I put things like showering, right? Like I normally don't have that because I just do that. But again, when I'm stressed, I put it on my to-do list so that way I know I don't skip that for whatever reason. I've got work, right? Work is really broad. I have a separate to-do list for work. But I have specific things for like school here, right? I put like I need to check my email, I need to work on my paper. But these are all the things that I needed to get done on that particular day. And it's very easy, I think, to go through, and it's also very, for me, rewarding when you start checking things off and they get smaller and smaller, and you're like, yeah, I can do this. Day breakdown. So some people use this. I've tried this. For me, it doesn't really work. I get a little too focused on time constraints, but for some people this really works to get them an idea of like how they can fit things into their day, where they've got time for things, and where to schedule things in their day. and also see where like most of your time goes. So basically you start, so like, for example, I did this breakdown for my day, 7 to 7:30, I'm getting ready for work. When you drive to work, basically you start in a 24-hour period and you kind of just break it down. This is what I did. So like I could see, from 7 to 9:30 is my big chunk of time at home where I have time to fit in working on homework when I was doing school stuff, as well as maybe some leisure activities as well. So like I said, if you're struggling to fit things into your day, this would be a really good idea of like kind of just even breaking it down to see like where is my time going. If you realize like, well, I can't fit study time in because I'm spending 4 hours scrolling on my phone, then maybe you set aside, say, okay, well, let's put 2 hours for scrolling on your phone and 2 hours for studying. So it's not necessarily like eliminating tasks, it's just kind of I don't know what we're looking for, but redesignating that time somewhere else. So that's really what this is. So another thing a lot of people use that's pretty popular is a bullet journal. I don't use them in the strictly bullet journal sense. If you want like a strictly like the bullet journal method, Google that. But it's a good idea. It can be helpful for people if you want simple tasks and important tasks. You can mix school and work, whatever you need. You can put due dates for things, bills, appointments, etc. So my bullet journal is really for keeping track here about what bills I've paid, so I mark them off when they're paid, but it also keeps track of like certain important things, like I put like appointments and stuff on here as well, but I also put like the mundane things like cleaning and laundry when that needs to get done, watering my plants. Lit tech is a class that I was taking, and I put little things like that on there. I think I've also got like trash I added on later, like little things like that. Chores basically essentially were there. It's a good way too if you keep forgetting to do all those little things. That's a good way of putting so it doesn't clutter up too many calendars. But it's also a good way too if you're fitting things in. Meal planning. So another thing that I found took up a lot of time is planning for meals, and I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. So there's a variety of ways that you can do meal planning. You can do meal planning or meal prep, whichever word you prefer. By basically start of the week, you figure out like what meal you're having, you make it, and you just eat the same thing every week. I tried that and I found that I do not like eating the same thing every day. So what I did instead is I planned ahead. Planning ahead can help save you time on cooking and saves the like, well, what do you want to eat for dinner conversation that tends to like take forever to figure out. What I did basically, like I said, is I plan ahead with like what meals I want for the week, and then I cook in batches on the weekend. So like I cook usually Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and I freeze my leftovers, basically double. So I eat half of it. So like Friday night, for example, I eat half of it Friday night, and I freeze the other half. And that way, then I have easy leftovers later. I just have to defrost it, heat it, and eat it. And that actually saves a lot of time of cooking and meal prep during the week when I'm trying to fit in all of my other tasks. You're trying to fit in study homework, you have appointments, this kid needs to be dropped off here, that kid needs to be dropped off there, you forgot this thing, like it really helps kind of save time and saves a lot of stress. And that's really all time management is just figuring out a strategy that works for you to kind of reduce a little bit of stress. You can fit all the things in into your day the best of your ability. If you have any questions or you want to talk about your specific like day, your schedule, your classes that you want to specifically work on, like a time management technique or ideas to use, feel free to email me and I can certainly try and help you with that.